Hello everybody, Lord Almighty here. Today is Saturday, August 1st, 2020, and I have intentionally presented myself with quite a challenge today. This pond has a pretty good population of largemouth bass, and in the springtime you can have some really solid days here. But once the dog days of summer roll around, those fish all seem to just disappear. But that can't be true, obviously. Those fish have to go somewhere. So my mission today is to not only locate those fish, but to get them to bite. And to do so, I am going to be relying mostly on finesse tactics. I'm going to be starting out by throwing around this small finesse jig, tipped with a gulp minnow, for a little extra temptation, because I know that when you're dealing with heat-stressed bass, you have to use anything and everything that could possibly give you an edge. Six o'clock. Bite should start turning on any minute now. Well, I made an errant cast to one of those bridge pilings over there and broke off the jig. And of course, that was the only black one I had. So, just switched to one of a different color. Hopefully this will produce some bites where that other one failed. This day is not getting off to an auspicious start. I rarely finesse fish at this pond, and there's a very psychological reason for that. It's because in the springtime I'll have very good luck power fishing using spinner baits and chatter baits and topwaters, and I'll catch 3 to 6 pound largemouths on those here fairly regularly. And when the fishing gets tough and my common sense tells me that I should slow down and downsize, I just remember all those big fish with the chatterbait hanging out of their mouth, and I'm like, well, it's tough to give that up. So I wind up doing the same thing, and in the summertime that's not nearly as effective. Ooh, that felt like a bite. Well, I don't know if it was a bite or not, but whatever it was took my jig. Dang it. Running out of finesse jigs. This is the last one I got, so if I lose this one, I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board. Oh my god, you're kidding me. That was like my third cast with that thing. And it just snapped like a twig. I don't know if this line is damaged somehow, but man, I am just hemorrhaging tackle tonight. Alright, I'll see what else I got in my bag of tricks. Well guys, before I blew almost $15 worth of finesse jigs, I did manage to get a few taps on them, but I think most of those were from fish that were nipping at the gulp trailer. So I decided to just cut straight to the point, and I've got a gulp minnow tied onto a drop shot rig. You know I'm getting desperate when I break out the drop shot, because I do not like fishing this. Definitely been getting a few nibbles on this. They're obviously not bass, because I would think even a small bass could fit a 2.5-inch gulp minnow in its mouth. So, could be sunfish, could be little perch. Regardless, not what I'm after. Well guys, I had an idea that fishing today might be tough and bites might be few and far between. But when even the gulp minnow is not producing, it might just be a lost cause. But nevertheless, I'm going to keep plugging away the best I can and hope that I can put anything at all together. And next up on my to-do list is the Wacky Rig Senko. I'm just going to focus on weed edges, and I'm hoping maybe there's a few fish under those lily pads that'll swim out and suck this thing in. There we go. Fish on. Oddly enough, he was almost out in the middle of the pond, away from any structure. Good thing I decided to make a blind cast out there. Alrighty. He ain't big, but it's a start. Alright, on the Wacky Rig Senko. Perhaps the start of something good? I don't know, but I'll take it. There's a fish. Again, he was out in open water. All right, this one's a little bit bigger. This one's maybe 1.25 pounds. Nice thick summer largemouth. All right, finally starting to get in them. Here we go, fish on. Oh, wow. Feels like it might be a good fish. Oh, he came off. Well, he wasn't that big, but he would have been a nice fish, maybe 1 pound or so. All right, so the Wacky Rig Senko out in deeper water. I think we have a pattern. Remember, 1 fish is a mistake, 2 fish is a coincidence, 3 fish is a pattern. Sun is down, moon is up, not much time left. Hope I can get 1 or 2 more bites before I gotta call it quits. Well, could not get that final bite because, as usual, I ran out of daylight before I ran out of enthusiasm. Started out to be a pretty frustrating day, both in my inability to catch any fish and my inability to keep a jig on the end of my line. But wound up going 2 for 3 on largemouth bass after finding the pattern, and the answer, as it so often seems to be this time of year, was the Wacky Rig Senko. And I was just twitching that out over deeper water, and that's where I was getting all of my bites. So while I may not have had a fantastic day of fishing today, I at least unlocked a piece of the puzzle that will help me catch bass in this lake in the middle of summer, which is something that prior to today I had found to be almost impossible. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you on the next adventure.